What's going on YouTube, Melontosh here, and I'm back with my week 1 team builder for the GPC. And our first round match is up against the Charlotte Houndooms and Full Restore. Link for Full Restore will of course be in the comment section down below. Make some really good content, so go and check him out. As does everyone in the GPC, so really you should go check them all out. But you know, whatever, just for now, go check him out, that's cool. He's got a really good roster as well. He drafted really well in my opinion. There's definitely some holes that I think I can capitalize on, but it's definitely a solid draft. So let me go over his draft really quickly for you. The kind of plan is I'm going to go over his draft, I'm going to do a little bit of analysis of his draft, and then go over my draft, and then I'm going to go into the things I picked and why I picked them for the match. And that's pretty much going to be the video for today. So my opponent's got a pretty good roster of, well, pretty good, it's a very good roster, of Mega Sableye, Talonflame, ouchie, Salamence, okay, Donphan, Empoleon, Reuniclus, Shaman, Weezing, and Hitmonchan. That's a really good draft, and it doesn't look that scary when you first look at it. It's only when you kind of get into the analysis of it that you realize that it is a reasonably scary draft for sure. Luckily, I feel like, because Mega Sableye is obviously a problem for every team, but we obviously have some good mons that can deal with that. Of course, Sylveon, the first thing that came to mind was Sylveon to deal with it, and that is kind of what I went with, but I also came up with another plan just in case I have to use Sylveon for something else. I don't foresee myself doing that. Maybe I have to sag it to a Salamence to get rid of the Salamence, I don't know, but I do have an extra which deals with that. But the other thing I see my opponent's team, basically to me his plan looks like, because he doesn't have very much offense. His offense basically consists of Talonflame, Salamence, and Reuniclus, and Shaman is a possibility, and Donphan. I mean, yeah, Choice Band and Donphan is scary. Yeah, it's scary, but it is mainly a defensive mon, but it can definitely be run offensively. Same with Shaman, can definitely be run offensively, and I feel like in his roster he kind of has to run it more offensively than defensively, but maybe that's why I want it, because it gets some great coverage moves. I'm not really too sure. But the team I kind of predict my opponent to have is not set in stone. It's kind of going off the top of my head right now. Would be Mega Sableye, Salamence, Talonflame, Empoleon, Reuniclus, and then I'm really not sure. Either Shaman or Donphan probably would be my best guess. But I've got loads of things with Donphan, so I don't know. The sixth one's kind of up in the air for me. I kind of feel like he has to bring the other five though. So I planned a team accordingly for that. Yeah, his kind of main strategy is that his main offense is going to be Talonflame, Salamence, especially on the physical side, and then Reuniclus for the special side, as maybe a late game Trick Room, late game Super, which is going to be a problem for me. Reuniclus is always a problem, it seems. And then kind of just to keep hazards off the field, because he has if you include Salamence, he has 1, 2, 3, 4 ways of removing hazard on his team. Four? Salamence, Donphan, Empoleon, and Hitmonchan. Yeah. He has 2 Rapid Spinners and 2 Defoggers. He also has a Magic Bouncer, probably the best Magic Bouncer in the game, coming up with Sableye. So that it's going to be hard to get hazards up against him. Luckily for me, I have plans and stuff. But that's kind of the analysis of his team. He doesn't want hazards on his team, and I'm going to try and get them up against him. And then I'm going to try and keep offensive pressure on him so he can't get set up with that Salamence or set up with that Talonflame. That's kind of my plan for the game. But we're just gonna have to see how it goes at this point, if I'm being honest. It could go well, it could go badly. It could go badly, so I'm just going to go into the team. Our draft, of course, is Greninja, Mega Latios, Sylveon, Excadrill, Entei, Jolteon, Miltank, Armaldo, Dusclops, and Leavanny. But to this particular match, we are bringing the Greninja, Kermit the Greninja, Usain Bolt the Jolteon, Bullseye the Dusclops, Bella the Sylveon, Speckles the Excadrill, and Eon the Mega Latios. Now, quickly, I'm just going to go over each set individual. I just want you guys to get the whole team first, so that you can know why I have certain moves. And originally, because he doesn't have very many water resists, he has Empoleon, which is kind of why he has to bring Empoleon in my opinion, because I was going to bring a Choice Specs Greninja, and just fire off Hydro Pump for days, and it would literally pretty much 2-hit KO everything on his team. But Life Orb does a pretty good job as well, and I need the low kick therefore. I want to be able to wear that Empoleon down, because it doesn't get reliable recovery. So if I can wear it down and he switches it into a Hydro Pump, I can just go for a low kick and take that thing straight out, and my game becomes a lot easier, in my opinion. opinion, Empoleon's kind of a problem for me. I don't really have a switch in per se. I guess my switching will probably be Eon, and I can just go for a Thunderbolt. Eon's a bit of a funky set. I've got a few funky things in here. The other thing with my opponent's team, it is actually really slow. In my opinion, it is a really slow team because Talonflame, of course, is really fast with a base stat of 126 speed. That's incredible, but I don't need my Mons to outspeed that because he's got priority Brave Bird anyway. So the only way I'd need, the only reason I need my Mons to outspeed Talonflame is if Talonflame has to go for a fire type move to take me out. If it doesn't go for Brave Bird or any other flying type move, that is, I want my Mon to be able to outspeed Talonflame, if possible. Obviously, I mean, it's very hard to outspeed, but if Brave Bird's just going to take me out, there's almost no point me trying to outspeed it. So other than that, his next fastest Mon is Salamence with 100 base speed, and I feel like my team is quite fast, so I definitely feel like I can capitalize on that, very much so. That is why my Greninja has these sets. So I've got the Life Orb. It does Hydro Pump. So going over his team again, I'm going to pop back over to his team. So Hydro Pump with Life Orb does a huge amount to a special defensive Sableye. It will take out Talonflame. Ice Beam will take out a Salamence. Hydro Pump will take out, or Ice Beam will take out a Donphan. Low Kick for the Empoleon. Dark Pulse for the Reuniclus. Ice Beam for the Shaman. Hydro Pump does massive damage to the Weezing, and then Hydro Pump does reasonable damage to the Hitmonchan. He can bring Hitmonchan actually, and they do reasonably well, but I don't think he's going to because Greninja has extra sensory, which I could really easily bring to take on that Weezing and the Hitmonchan, but honestly I'm not too worried about them. So that's kind of, I don't see either of them coming. I mean, Hitmonchan could potentially come, but an Assault Vested Hitmonchan, but I mean, what's he really going to do to Sylveon? I don't see it coming. So that's what the moveset's about, hitting everything on his team. So I have 198 speed IVs, meaning I can be modest and mild actually, which increases my special attack, and then I put 58 in attack just to make that low kick hit a little bit harder. Originally I had U-turn on here just to get some switch initiative, because I thought that'd be really nice if he's coming into walls, if I can get switch initiative. But I think at the end of the day, Greninja is going to be a really good late game team. But I'm also really expecting him to either bring just Dance Ments with Dragon Dance or Scarf Ments. I feel like he almost has to bring Scarf Ments, but at the same time, D-Dance Ments is unbelievably scary. So Low Kick does a lot to an Empoleon. If it's specially defensive, which I don't think it's going to be, I think it's going to be defensive, but then Dark Pulse does a reasonable amount anyway. So Greninja can hit the Empoleon reasonably hard. I will have to run some calcs during the match just to try and find out where, he may be mixed, maybe quite likely that he's got a mixed set, but I want to try and find out on which side he leans towards, so I know when I can go for my Low Kick. And then so I outspeed a non-choice a Salamence. I don't need to outspeed Talonflame because Talonflame checks Greninja, which is why he has to bring it, in my opinion, because he doesn't really have many checks for Greninja, and it's very hard to counter. But so I'm sure Talonflame's his sort of go-to, because he can just bring it in on my Greninja, go for a Brave Bird, and Greninja will drop really fast. Actually, it really will drop fast. Yeah, so going mild is really awesome. It means I can hit stuff really hard. The Reuniclus, it just gives me that extra power on the Reuniclus, and I believe, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe after one Calm Mind I can still do over 50% because of that. I'm not sure, I have to double check that. I did the calc ages ago. Actually, I don't think I can. I can't remember, but either way, the next mon on the team is Usain Jolt. Originally it was to form a Switch Initiative core with Volt Switch and U-turn, and I had the Life Orb on this thing instead, but then I was looking at it, I was looking through my team, and a D-Dance Salamence with Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Shadow Claw will pretty much wreck my team. It will sweep my team after one D-Dance. So my kind of plan is that he's not going to expect a Choice Scarf Jolteon. Also, if he does not bring the Donphan, I will Volt Switch. I will lead with this thing, and I will just Volt Switch all day, every day. Well, not necessarily this thing. My lead is going to be really hard to call, guys. Oh my lord, my lead is going to be hard to call. Yeah, I can outspeed this thing after one D-Dance, and I can go for Hidden Power Ice and take it out. Or if he's Choice Scarf Ments, I outspeed it and I can go for a Hidden Power Ice. At the same time, I still outspeed Talonflame, which is really important, because I can live a Brave Bird, and with 124 HP, I think it's a 3-hit KO on me. Which is really nice for me. It also means that a Scold from a Napoleon will 3-hit KO me as well. So that's really nice having those 124, even though Jolteon is really frail. It has some decent spadef, but it is really frail. But resisting that Brave Bird is really clutch. And I would either have to go max speed, but this means I can go modest, and I outspeed everything on his team without a doubt. Unless he brings Choice Scarf, Talonflame, but then, you know what? Congrats to him, that's awesome. But, like, just damn, that would be good. But even then, I could pivot around it really easily, actually. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. But he would take out my Jolteon, which would be a problem. If he had Choice Scarf, Talonflame, and Choice Scarf Ments, that, you know, that would be a problem, but you can't plan for everything. So, this thing outspeeds everything on his team now, and it's really good. Volt switches for initiative. Thunderbolt hits the. Let's just go through his team really quickly. To show you guys what I can hit, what I can't hit. Thunderbolt hits the Talonflame. Thunderbolt also hits the Ment really hard, so I may not even have to go for Hidden Power Ice. But it is safer if he has the Donphan around. Hidden Power Ice will hit the Donphan and the Ment. Thunderbolt obviously hits the Empoleon. Shadow Ball for the Reuniclus. Hidden Power Ice hits that Shaman, and then Thunderbolt will do loads because it's a special offensive move to the Weezing, and Hitmonchan will take Jolteon on reasonably well. But I'm not really too worried about the Hitmonchan at the moment. Maybe I will be in the battle, who knows? But next up, I decided to go with Dusclops because I really wanted to check to Talonflame, so I went with Dusclops in, of course holding the Eviolite with Frisk ability. I actually think that's going to come in clutch as well, because if at some point this thing gets whittled down, and I can then use this and sack it, but as I come in, I will get the Frisk ability, and I'll be able to see what item that Salamence is holding, so I will know what type of Salamence that is. The same with the Reuniclus. I'll be able to know, I don't want to be able to know, but I'll be able to get an idea of how offensive it is if it's holding Life Orb. Obviously if it's got leftovers, I'll be able to tell, but it may have something like the X-Block Bell. It'll be helpful for a few different things on his team. I mean, everything else, the items kind of be obvious, I think. A Talonflame again as well, it would be useful. And this is my dedicated Talonflame check, and if Talonflame goes down, it will be my dedicated Salamence switching. Rock Slide to a Talonflame will do 60 to 70%. He can carry Will-O-Wisp, of course, but I've got a Heal Bell user, so that's kind of my plan with that. But I guess if he goes to the Will-O-Wisp on my switching, we could be in trouble, but we've got about 40%, so I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay. I did consider running Hidden Power Rock. And in fact, I'm still considering it. I am still considering running Hidden Power Rock. It does do over 50%, but if he is a bulky Talonflame, a specially defensive bulky Talonflame with bulk up, it will not do over 50%. So it's kind of a tough call, because it's basically whether he's going to run Will-O-Wisp or he's going to run, well, if he runs Will-O-Wisp, he may be specially defensive, but just because if he's specially defensive, he's going to have Will-O-Wisp. But if he's offensive, he can still have Will-O-Wisp quite easily. In which case, Hidden Power Rock is a better play, but if he's specially defensive, Rock Slide's a better play. So, I've also got Will-O-Wisp for that Ment. He could be Lumberry Ment to try set up on my Dusclops. Get up a DD. But I can live one hit at +1 and go for another Will-O-Wisp. And then that will kind of neutralize the Ment. And I don't think, actually, I haven't looked at this, but I don't think he has any Clerics. I don't think any of those mons get Heal Bell. I will double check after this though, because that could be clutch for him actually. And then Nightshade's just for consistent damage if I need it, on things like the Empoleon, if I ever have to 1v1 that, the Donphan, if I ever need to 1v1 that, although I don't want to have Dusclops in against Donphan. If he brings Donphan, I definitely think he's bringing Knockoff. I actually do think he's either going to bring the Donphan or the Hitmonchan, thinking about it, because he does need Knockoff on his team, and both of them get Knockoff, so I see that being likely for him. As you can see him bringing that Donphan in, and a Choice Banded Donphan is going to be a problem for me. I'm not going to try and hide that. A Choice Banded Donphan Knockoff is going to do a lot of damage to a lot of my mons, and there's nothing I really want the item to get knocked off of, so we're just going to have to deal with that as it comes, really. And it being sturdy as well is a little bit... sturdy would be a little bit of a problem as well, because I'd have to get hit off on it. But alas, it's a it's a problem I'm going to be dealing with on the battlefield. So next up is Bella. This is my dedicated Sableye switch in. It also hits a lot of things on his team. Quite a weird set. And I'm really not sure if I'm overthinking it, because I definitely, when I try and team build for stuff like this, I definitely overthink it and I get in twists in my head, and then I end up bringing the randomest, like the weirdest stuff, even though I had the right set to begin with, because I just overthink it. And I don't have like a team I build with or anything like that, so I don't know if anyone to say, no, you're crazy. No one said that to me, obviously, because I build by myself. So this thing's got the leftovers. This thing is, sorry, my bullseye is just literally 252 in HP, 252 in defense to take on that Talonflame, and really Brave Bird does nothing to me. So I've got leftovers, Pixelate ability, of course, Hyper Voice for that, Hyper Voice for the Sableye. Obviously, Empoleon completely checks this thing, counters this thing, sorry, 100%. So I need to get rid of that. I've also got Calm Mind in case he's a Calm Mind Sableye, in which case I can just Calm Mind up with the Sableye, and it's still not going to be able to do much to me. A Poison Jab will 3-hit KO me, but 2-hit KO me, but I do outspeed, so I can switch in on a Poison Jab and OK him with a Hyper Voice. It only 2-hit KOs me if he is 252 and adamant in attack. So yeah, it's all good. I can outspeed him with that. I then got Wish. Now that I kind of didn't know whether I had to have Hyper Voice, Calm Mind. I didn't know whether definitely knew I wanted Wish. I knew I wanted Hyper Voice. I didn't know whether I should have Calm Mind and Protect, Heal Bell and Protect, and I ended up going Heal Bell and Calm Mind, which is a bit weird. So I'm gonna have to really use my Wish as well. And use them at the right time, because if I make a mistake, then I'm not going to be able to get my Wish off, and it may come and bite me in the ass, but I really think it's something I have to do in case he's that Calm Mind Sableye, because if he's fully special defensive, and he gets up a Calm Mind, or yeah, he gets one Calm Mind, I do not 2-hit KO him. That's crazy, I know it's crazy. And Heal Bells, because if he wants to burn me with that Scold from... If he wants to burn me for a Scold from Empoleon, or a Will-O-Wisp from Weezing, or Will-O-Wisp from Sableye, I'm going to be able to Heal Bell it off, which is just kind of lovely for me. It is kind of lovely for me. And Hyper Voice will not hit a lot of his team, but it will hit most. I mean, it will hit Sableye, it won't hit Talonflame at all. It will hit the Salamence, it will hit the Donphan, it will hit Reuniclus, it will hit Shaman, and it will hit Hitmonchan. So that's half his team. Well, no, not just over half of his team, which is nice. But he definitely has some good checks to this thing. But literally every time Sableye comes out, this thing's coming in. Maybe he'll be able to predict that really nicely, because it's kind of obvious. But we'll have to. That's the playing that comes down to it, not the team building. I can't just not bring it because of that. So I'm going to be bringing Sylveon. And next up is Speckles. This is probably going to be my lead. Probably. This thing has got Lumberry. So basically my aim is for him to leave with Sableye, I leave with my Extra Drill. I have Mold Breaker, so I go for the Stealth Rocks. My rocks will not get bounced back. As he goes for a Will-O-Wisp, I then cure it with a Lumberry. The only thing that kind of gets at me with this set is that I do have the Heal Bell, so I could just Heal Bell it off later in the game. I could come with Extra Drill, have leftovers, say, go for my Stealth Rock, he Will-O-Wisp me, I stay burnt, but then I can go ahead and switch out and go for and then come into my Sylveon and go for a Heal Bell, and the burn's gone. So I don't think it's too big a deal. But I do want the Lumberry, because basically what I envision is me curing that Will-O-Wisp with the Will-O-Wisp, or me curing the burn with that Lumberry, and the music stopped. Me curing the burn with the Lumberry. My words are all over the place right now, and me just being able to, and if not, because I think he might actually expect it. If not, it'll be later on in the match where I can go for a Sword Stance on his Sableye, and I will do so much damage to his whole team with a Sword Stance up, and I can take hits really well, because I am 252 in HP and 252 in speed in attack, meaning I can be adamant quite happily. This means that defensive Reuniclus, I do a lot of damage to. It also means I can 100% of the time live a Focus Blast from Reuniclus. and then I can 2-hit, well not 2-hit KO, I can do loads of damage. I can go for a Swords Dance and force him to go for the Focus Blast, and I will do about 80% with the Swords Dance up with an Earthquake. I did have X's on this thing, but it literally does pretty much the exact same amount of damage, so I just thought I may as well go with the Swords Dance instead, and then have the Rock Slide, which hits the Talonflame, of course. Flare Blitz will not OK me. Rock Slide will hit the Talonflame, will hit the Salamence, although I think an Earthquake from Salamence will actually take me out. What else will it hit on his team? The Wheezing will go down because I've got Mold Breaker to the Earthquake. Shaman can switch in on an Earthquake or a Rock Slide, if I'm being honest, but I don't need the Iron Head. It's not like he has any fairies. I don't need it. Also, the other thing with the Lumberry is that I can switch in on Empoleon, and I can take it out with an Earthquake all of the time. So I can switch in on the Scald. I will take a lot of damage, but even if I get burned, it's fine. And then I can go for the Earthquake and do lots to his team. I think Donphan will take me out with an Earthquake all the time. So I really like this extra set. I really hope it works well. It just depends if he's going to lead with that Sableye or not. It's going to be such a tough lead, because if you lead with that Donphan, it kind of puts me in a bad situation, because I'm pretty sure Donphan Earthquake will take out my extra jaw, and if not, he can just Rapid Spin them off, although I can go into Dusclops, but then he'll knock off. And yeah, but Sableye is really common lead, but he can lead with Talonflame, he can lead with his Donphan. Yeah, it's going to be tough. If he doesn't have Donphan, I think I'm going to lead with Jolteon, or I may just lead with my Sylveon, because honestly he can't, I can Hyper Voice the Donphan as well, and I can take out the Sableye another way, so it is okay. Next up is another bit of a weird mon, Eon. I'll make a Latios. Really excited to use this thing. Never really used it that much, but I've been using it on Showdown a little bit, and it's actually really good. Really nice mon. I've got 80 in HP, I've got 176 and a positive nature and timid nature, increasing my speed and negating my attack. Okay, this looks weird. I've got Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Psychic, and Dragon Dance. Okay, Latios does not get agility. It does not get agility. It doesn't get any other speed increasing moves. So I will be able to throw him off a little bit as well, but that's not the point of it at all. I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea. It's not the point of it at all. The point is I have this investment in speed, 176 in speed, so that I outspeed everything but that Talonflame, because there's Flare Blitz and Brave Bird, there's no difference. He may as well go for the Brave Bird if he wants to go Flare Blitz. Okay, he's going to outspeed me at max speed anyway, so I'm going with this here, so I outspeed that Salamence, sorry, the Salamence, I don't know, Salamence, and then I just put the rest in HP so I can take Brave Birds better. I'm not going to be able to take a hit from the Salamence unless he's Choice Scarfed and he goes for Shadow Claw. I think I can take one. I can take one. So the D-Dance is basically so I envision at the end game him sort of having his Salamence left, and possibly having, Team Builder, possibly having something else left. I don't know, could be anything, could be the Shaman, could be Empoleon, could be anything like that, anything that can't do a lot of damage to me, and I can go for the D-Dance, and he's going to think I'm physical, and he's going to be like, oh no, but I am going to outspeed his whole team after a D-Dance, because it's like I've got a Choice Scarf, so it's like I'm just giving myself a speed race. I couldn't find any other speed increasing moves that would benefit me in any other way, so I think this is the best speed increasing move. I think it's really necessary in case he has that Choice Scarf Ments and Jolteon has to go down, because otherwise it's a massive problem for me. Then I just have to play around it, and I have to play around that Ments, and I have to get a DD up, and I can go for an Ice Beam and one-shot it all of the time, no matter what. I do not have a Dragon move because Ice Beam for the Ments, and then Psychic. I have Psychic over Psy Shock because it hits both the it hits a Wheezing so much harder, and it will hit that Hitmonchan harder. Actually, thinking about it, I might go for Psy Shock. I have to think that one through again. I might go for Psychic or Psy Shock, but it will hit Donphan harder as well. Then the Thunderbolt is for that for the Empoleon, and the Psychic is, I said what the Psychic's for, and then the Thunderbolt is for the Empoleon. It can hit the Salamence as well if I need to, and it can hit the Talonflame. And then the only thing that is a problem and is a little bit annoying is that Reuniclus, I don't really do anything to you, but I'm planning on dealing with you with a mixture of Extrial, Dark Pulse Ninja, and Jolteon or Sylveon, so that's all good. I really need to find out what set this Reuniclus is. I need to find out whether to hit it on the special or the physical side. for the most damage. And that may be just getting a Volt Switch off or something. I think he's definitely going to be mixed. I think he's going to be... His Runiculus is either going to be Trick Room, Sweeper with 3 attacks for a late game Sweeper. In which case I feel like I can deal with it reasonably well. Or it's going to be Calm Mind. In which case I think he's going to be mixed, mainly on the physical side and then a little bit on the special side. But that's fine. I'm fine with that. Exeter can do some stuff. Exeter can definitely do some stuff. So that is kind of going to be the team builder for you guys today. I really hope that wow, I'm sorry, this was an awful commentary. This was literally one of the worst commentaries I think I've ever done. But I enjoyed myself. That's kind of what counts, isn't it? And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like rating down below. If you feel like let me know in the comment section down below if you think we're gonna win or not. Because I think we're gonna win. You know, I really like the team I built. I really, really do, and it has some really weird sets like this, like Latios. Everyone's gonna be like, no, but I really think it can work, and I hope I get to pull off some of my shenanigans in the match. Well, they're not really shenanigans; they're just little bumps and stuff. I worked hard on this team, so hopefully it comes off well. Bella set as well. I'm gonna have to look into a couple stuff. If I change anything, I'll let you guys. I will let you guys know before the battle actually starts. I am going to be having my battle today, and I really hope I can win. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please leave a like rating down below. If you're feeling like an absolute legend, then go ahead and give it a share, because sharing is caring. But other than that, I'll smell you later.